Get your bra off,
I might take my top off for part 2. Should we play Strip Podcast? Yeah.
Minute by minute, just slowly.
Why don't we... Well, we'll save this for when we record.
We are.
Welcome back to another episode of Private Parts with me, Tom Lucy.
And me, Liv Bentley. This is the podcast where nothing is off limits.
Each week, we will read the most intimate and sordid details of our lives from our diaries.
I'm convinced you turn my thing up when you start, by the way.
Turn your what up?
What I can hear in my ears.
Your headphones?
Yeah, because
Is it too loud?
It's way too loud when you start talking.
Is it?
And
You always jump when I go, welcome back,
Yeah,
you always jump.
because it's a little high.
Is it too much?
My small little
I'm
ears.
trying to bring some energy to the...
How dare you? I brought a lot of energy this week because I'm not hungover. I love the weather. And I've got a polo neck on.
We've both taken our shoes off
Yeah,
for
it's
this,
a bit
which we've
cozy.
never done before, but I like it.
It's cozier.
We should do it more.
We should
Take our
do it.
shoes off.
Take just
Like
our
we're on a
shoes.
long haul flight.
I've got a problem though. So I have rather bad circulation. I think it's years of being a
of course,
smoker.
yeah. Here we
So
go.
I struggle if I take my shoes off on a flight. I can never get them back on the other end.
Because your
They're
feet
enormous.
are swollen.
Yeah. Like, like those.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's pregnant women get it all the time.
Have you got something to tell us?
No, because you just saw me chuff back 2 marigolds.
Yeah, I like taking my shoes off. I think I'm going to do it more often. In meetings.
Do you take your shoes off
on
when
the tube?
on the tube?
Does anyone take their shoes off on the tube?
No, and I'd be
That
shocked
would
if they
be
did.
Serial killer energy, wouldn't it? I'd love that.
Can you imagine going barefoot on the London
We've talked
Underground?
before, I think, about how unacceptable it is when men on planes take off their shoes and their socks.
No.
Unacceptable.
I don't like feet. I think they're gross. But you see all those memes, all those videos people make on Instagram, and it's like all the revolting things you see on flights, like people picking their nose, unacceptable, taking their shoes off, and then having the balls to put their feet over the head, and then you're sitting there with an old foot behind
With a
you.
hoof next to you.
With an old hoof. Horrible. Someone's fat trotter right next to your head.
Good stuff. Liv,
Yeah.
it is pissing with rain. We're very much in winter now, I think it's fair to say. You were just saying
love
before we
it.
started recording that you prefer winter.
I do.
Discuss.
Which is weird because I'm born in August, so I should be like a summer baby, but I'm not. I just love the coziness of winter. I prefer wearing nice, like woolly jumpers. There is something a lot more wholesome, I think, about winter.
Sure, yeah.
And there's
particularly the way
Christmas.
you do your summers.
I went to one rogue party.
Do you think that they are... do you think that you sort of go out more and drink more in the winter or in the summer?
No, I think summer's more seshy in terms of like festivals, big old parties, whereas winter, it's more like pub sort of dinners, which
Yeah.
I love that.
Like fires,
Yeah.
pubs.
I love that sort of like red wine drunk,
do you
not
think-
3 a.m. in raffles, hitting up the tequilas.
Yeah.
Which you don't really do in winter because it's so fucking cold. You just can't be
No.
asked to leave your house.
No, it's a different kind of party in the winter, isn't it?
It's a more wholesome party.
But it is also a bit, because it's like dark at 5 o'clock, it's a bit like, well, what else is
Well, you
there
start
to do
drinking
other
earlier
than have
then.
a drink?
So actually, you've technically got more drinking time in winter.
So what we're saying is that we drink in the summer and in the winter.
Yeah, there's no like there's like a period like now, September's fine just to take it easy, but then you get into Halloween.
Have you been taking it easy?
No, today's the first day I've not been hungover. No, I haven't been hitting it that hard. I haven't actually been partying though. I've just been having like boozy dinners and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a bit more high end.
a little bit more high end than what I'm used to.
Yeah. Okay,
But
great.
yeah, have you been partying?
I've been...
Oh no, you've been sober.
well, I was until last week, and then I came off again. But that's fine. We don't need to get into
We
that.
don't need
It's-
to.
It's not a big deal. It's fine. Halloween's right around the corner.
Yeah, that's another. This is the thing. I just prefer all the different events that go on this time of year. Halloween's quite fun.
Halloween's good.
Winter Wonderland.
Are you a big costume person for Halloween?
Yeah, but I do the slutty route, like the sort of dead nurse and
Right.
that vibe. I think last year I
Dead
went as
nurse.
like some dominatrix.
Don't all girls go down the slutty route for
Yes.
Halloween?
Apart from one of my sisters who dressed up as a bag of ketamine.
Did you?
Yeah. I've got a sort of mixed bag with my sisters. Some of them do the sexy route, and then one of them always goes as Uncle Fester.
You were saying that Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct would be a good...
Yes, I'm going to go as that. That's my favourite film.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That explains a lot. Did you watch that when you were a kid and think, I'd like to be like Sharon
I want
Stone?
to be her, yeah.
I'd like to be a murdering...
Cut my hair like hers.
You sort of do have a bit of Sharon Stone energy about you.
Thank you. I'll
right?
take that as a compliment. It's better than I once got Tilda Swinton.
Do you think I have Michael Douglas energy?
Actually, no.
Come on. What, like a retired cop?
A retired cop who's...
A rogue cop? I like that.
Oh, and he used to have a drug problem.
Oh, but then it is like that then. Perfect. It's National Body Language Day. The first Friday of October is National Body Language Day. And last week, you had quite negative body language.
Have I upgraded?
This is better.
Improved?
This is better. Last week, you were like covered in pillows and you weren't looking me in the eye and you were...
Because we had a nasty incident. The car I was in sort of broke down.
You were in a car
I was in the
accident
middle of
3 hours.
the fucking bus lane with people honking at me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But this is better today. National Body Language Day.
National Body Language
Are you
Day.
going to do... How are you with body language? Do you pick up on other people's body language?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. You can get a lot from someone's body language. My issue, though, is obviously because of all the Botox, my face doesn't say much. So I could I was known to have resting bitch face, but it's only because it doesn't fucking move.
So really, you use body language a lot because your face doesn't give away much. So your body has to tell the story.
But I'm not like, I think if, like arm crossing, although I have a habit of doing that because I don't wear, this is ridiculous, because I don't wear a bra, sometimes when it's cold, you can see my nipples. So I cross my arms to cover them up to not make that part of the conversation. But I can see how arm crossing could look a bit...
so you don't give a fuck.
Standoffish, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's rude, isn't it, to stand with your arms crossed? I do it all the time.
I think I do that quite a lot. Is it rude?
I think it is quite rude because it looks like you're bored. I did something the other day and it was like an interview sort of thing and I stood there like this and afterwards I was like, I probably shouldn't have done that.
I think I get criticised quite a lot of looking bored. I think that's something I struggle with.
What, do you have a wandering eye?
I don't know. I just think I'm not. I think I naturally can look a bit disinterested, and I'm not.
Are you disinterested?
And I'm not. Sometimes I am, but a lot of the time I'm not. I just look disinterested, and it's something I need to work on. What do you think? Have you ever been with me and thought he looks bored?
No, because my company is obviously thrilling.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, what sort of, you got like an airy fairy look about you?
Maybe, I don't know.
Actually, that's what my boyfriend always says to me. He goes, you're often like, he goes, what are you thinking about staring like that? Nothing. Honestly, nothing.
What are you thinking about staring at the wall for 2 hours?
My next fag. I don't
Yeah.
know. Staring at the wall.
How is Stephen?
Stephen's very good. And I've had a lot of messages from people saying, Tom, let slip your sweet boyfriend's name.
Yeah.
Which is Rory.
So should we just say Rory now?
We've said it now.
Okay.
So, yes.
So how is Rory?
Rory's good.
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 What have you been up to?
What have we been up to? Together or in my
Together, yeah,
own life?
Together.
Not really. Both just been
Going
sort
for
of
nice
working.
dinners?
Going for nice dinners. I know. I need to lay off these dinners, honestly. Well, that's good. You still
it
need
was
to
good.
meet him.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm waiting for the invite.
Well, we'll
It's not
organise
come
it
through
soon.
yet.
We'll organise it. A nice Halloween dinner.
Yeah, it's a nice, calm way to meet someone for the first time. A massive Halloween party. Me dressed as Michael Douglas. Let's talk about cuffing season.
Yeah. Well, I was.
Explain to the list. I'm sure everybody knows what it is, but try and explain what cuffing season is.
Well, it's when you cuff up, isn't it?
Okay, but what does that mean?
Well, it's when you find I hate the word when people go, "Oh, meet my partner." It's when you find someone to sort of, date
Yeah.
for the colder months.
So basically, I think the idea is that you, around this time, like October, early
You
October,
couple up.
people get into relationships because it's cold and miserable.
But I was premature.
And then they stay in that relationship through
Until
Christmas, Valentine's Day, and then after Valentine's Day, when the weather starts getting better,
You uncuff.
you uncuff and you release for the summer. That's what I understand cuffing season
I
to
don't.
be.
Okay, that's not quite how it is, but
It is what it is, right?
yeah. But I mean, yeah,
Everyone's
I suppose.
nodding. See, everyone's nodding.
Well, it's sort of hard for us to say. When did you cuff up with Olivia? It sounds very sexual, doesn't it?
We cuffed a bit later. We cuffed in December last year.
Oh, so you were late.
we were
See,
late to
I was
cuffing.
early to cuffing this year because I was midsummer. So
cuffed midsummer.
mid my prime of rat boy summer. I
Yeah.
still don't think that expression works, but I just thought,
Have you been in the past someone who gets into cuffing? Do you like to have a partner in the winter, or do you not really
I
care?
can't take it seriously. I just the cuffing
It's a
idea.
serious
It's like
question.
someone on all fours, and I don't know.
Do you would you in the past be someone who wants to be in a relationship in the winter, or do you not really care?
I have never been that bothered, to be honest.
No.
It sounds ridiculous, but I wasn't a huge relationship person. I just ended up being in 2 big relationships, and then obviously
Yeah.
now, like I was never, when I was single, I would never date. Like I wasn't actively looking for someone.
No.
But no, because I know everyone thinks
So
you
you
should
weren't
be.
one of those people who's like, I have to be with someone
No.
through these months,
No,
through these dark
through
months.
these dark times. No, I wasn't.
Do you have friends who are like that? Or do you have
Yeah.
any single friends now?
Yeah,
Most
some.
people in relationships.
Most are in relationships, I
Do
think.
the single ones, are they thinking about cuffing season?
Probably. But I don't know why people, I would actually, I don't know. I don't think winter's necessarily a time you have to be in a relationship. Sometimes the winter season can be quite fun because it's like the Christmas parties, lots of, do
But
you know?
I think you're less inclined to like go out in the winter, aren't you? Because it's cold and wet and dark.
Well, you just sound like a right wimp saying that, don't you?
But it's true. I think most people like go out less in the winter.
Yeah.
So like if you're single, that means you're inside more on your own.
Yeah,
that-
but I feel like there's just more, I don't know why, but I honestly think there's more fun things to do during winter.
What are your favourite things to do during the winter?
All the like cringe things. I loved going ice skating at the Natural History Museum, although I don't think they do that anymore.
Do they not?
Yeah,
Because of you?
probably get
Did
a
you
bit
shut it all down?
neck the mulled wine and
So you
yeah.
like going ice
I
skating?
like doing all that sort of festive crap.
Winter Wonderland?
Winter Wonderland.
Yeah,
Yeah. The lights, them turning on the lights.
that's great.
Sort of sweet.
yeah,
it's
Oxford Street lights.
basically a small child inside. I just, yeah.
Would you go to Lapland with Rory?
It's not something I thought
He's
of.
a bit old for that, isn't he?
Yeah. What do you like doing in
In
these
the winter?
colder months?
This is genuinely one of the worst gigs I've ever done, was at the opening night of Winter Wonderland about 5 years ago.
Oh, you stood there in front of the...
I got asked about 4 or 5 years ago to like host the opening of Winter Wonderland for all the press and
Yeah.
like guests and everyone. And they were like, why don't you do at the beginning like 10 minutes of just try and do like a stand up for 10 minutes and then like get into the, you know, the sort of event. And it was genuinely like, I think the worst gig I've ever done.
Why?
Because like, can you imagine a worse?
crowd. It's all children, isn't it?
It's children and it's outdoors and it's freezing and you're surrounded by Christmas things and it was just horrendous. I think I did like 2 minutes and then was like, right, okay, let's just start, shall we? It was really bad. Winter Wonderland.
Did
Winter
people
Wonderland
find it
crap.
funny?
They weren't even listening. They were all just chatting. I was just talking and no one was listening.
It's probably a bit of a random place to be doing stand up.
Have you been to that before? The Winter
The press
Wonderland
night.
press night?
No, I don't
haven't
think I
been?
have actually. No, I have. Obviously, you can tell I don't really remember it.
Do you go to Winter Wonderland?
I actually do really like
and you
Winter
get really
Wonderland.
battered and walk around?
Yeah, okay. Oh no.
No, it's
referencing
fun. I'm
this
saying
bit.
that's fun.
I do. Yeah, I do.
I like to do that.
It's quite fun.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy it.
It's
Makes
just
me feel
so busy, isn't it?
Well, no, you look at the queue and it's terrifying, and then you get in there and it's actually all right in those beer tents.
We could do that.
We could do a bit of that.
Oktoberfest around the corner.
Yeah. I think next year we're gonna have to go.
To Oktoberfest.
It would be funny, wouldn't it?
To go to
And wear the what do you call them again?
Lederhosen.
Yeah, I've actually got one of the dresses
Of course you have. Why?
because a sweet friend Sophie Herman got us all them. I was in some of the cast, and we wore them for her birthday or something. But
What,
I've still got it.
lederhosen?
Yeah,
Well, we could do that.
let's do it next week. Well, we're not gonna go. We'll just wear the outfits. I'd like to see you in a pair of those little short things.
Okay, great. Well, I'll bring some in.
Perfect. Okay, right. So you know there are actually some rules for cuffing season.
Okay.
Be mindful of your desire for a relationship.
Oh my God, that sounds intense. That sounds like something you'd read on a fortune cookie. Be mindful for your desire for a relationship.
God, sorry, these just sound like general relationship things. Be clear about what you're seeking in the long and short term.
That's just advice for relationships.
General, don't
yeah.
make plans too far in advance.
Don't make plans too far.
Don't ghost the relationship. Ghosting.
Ghosting.
When a friend or romantic prospect suddenly cuts off all communication with you without any explanation.
Yeah.
I think I've done that a few times.
You must have done that a few
No,
times.
you know what? I was talking about this the other day with someone. I think ghosting's acceptable if you haven't slept with them and it's early on, it's like 1 or 2 dates in and you're just not that interested.
And you've done that before.
Yeah.
So that's because you don't. It's too awkward to send a text saying I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, I'm probably just a pussy, to be honest, and I need to go
So
the
what
fuck.
would happen?
Well, I'm in a
They-
relation, as it doesn't matter.
The guy would text you and say, "Do you want to meet on Friday?" And you just wouldn't reply to that.
Well, no, I had it with a guy that I went on a date with not that long ago, and he was just sending me messages, but there was no like intention of another date. So I was just like,
What's going on here?
no. I was like, well, what's the point? Obviously, neither one of us wanted to go on another date, and there was no point in being like pen pals.
Was he trying to push for another date or not? He was.
Well, I
just-
didn't reply to. He sent like a long message, and I just didn't reply to it. So maybe that.
Have you ever been ghosted?
No, I don't actually think I have.
Really? Wow.
I mean,
It's quite a claim to fame.
no, not because of that, but honestly, I don't. In between the relationships I've had, I was never a serial dater. It wasn't like different date, different week.
No.
I wasn't like that.
No.
It's too much energy. I was busy selling my lube and trying my vibrators.
Busy driving around in the van with a lube in the back.
Like a fucking child.
I'm trying to
catcher.
think if I've been ghosted. I must have been. I'm sure I have.
See, I probably would have been as well.
I think it's more likely for guys to get ghosted than for girls, right?
But it's such a weird one, isn't it? Because it's like everyone thinks, you know, you should be grown up enough to say, listen, this isn't going anywhere, which actually is the right thing to do. It's not the right thing to do to ghost someone, is it?
I think it's a good, something I'm trying to get better at, and I think
Ghosting people, you're in a relationship.
no, what I'm saying is, if you have something uncomfortable to say to someone, just say it rather than like putting it off and putting it off and putting it off.
Yeah, but
Because most people aren't good at like confronting
No.
issues. They will just like keep putting it off, and then it will eventually become an issue.
But are you better at saying it to someone's face or messaging them about it?
I'd rather say it to their face, to be honest.
So would I, but I'm better. I won't, because I'll pussy out and then I'll text them. Going,
But I
"Just so
worry
you know."
that sending a text is a bit like they think that's a sort of you're sort of a bit of a cop out to just text them.
Well, at least you're trying.
Yeah, I don't know. Is ghosting something that happens a lot amongst your friendship group? Do you think a lot of girls are ghosting people?
I don't really know, to be honest, but you could class ghosting as anything, really, couldn't you? Like, does ghosting mean after you've met someone physically, like gone on a date, or could it be like someone's chatting you up on Instagram and then you decide just to stop replying?
No, that's not. I think it's like if you know them and you've met them and you've done something, and then you just stop replying to them.
Friendships and relationships.
I've had it happen. I've had friends, really good friends, just suddenly stop speaking to them, and there's no explanation.
What, you've stopped speaking to them, or they've
No,
stopped speaking to you?
I have friends who have experienced this with other friends, where one day they just completely cut off contact, and there's no explanation.
I mean, that is a bit sad, but maybe
And
it's
you're like, what? Why? Even if you want to end the friendship, just give me tell me why.
something must have happened for that to have taken place, though.
Yeah.
People don't randomly just end friendships.
No.
I always think sometimes when friends get into new relationships, your friendships, because when you start a new relationship, you don't probably put as much time into your friendships at the beginning of a relationship with someone else. Like, I've noticed I have done that.
Have you noticed since you've been with Rory that your friendships have taken a bit of a sort of backseat? But that's quite normal, I
Not
think.
enough for it to be a thing. Like, now it's absolutely fine. But in the beginning, when you like hang out with that one person, you don't really, do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
want to spend most of your time with them.
Yeah.
But no, I have been in relationships where I sort of isolated myself from my friends, but it was because of the circumstances of the relationship. But this is obviously not with Rory.
But that's not good, is it?
No, and it wasn't good.
No.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if I've ever ghosted a friend. I don't know.
Have you had friends that as you've got older, you've...
Sort of cut off.
Yeah, you're like, we
Yeah.
were really good friends when we were younger, and as we've got older, we've kind of grown apart a bit.
Yeah, and I think you do outgrow certain
You
friendships.
think that's okay to do that?
Yeah, if it's like a sort of, not like a, if you suddenly go, I don't want to be your mate anymore, it's different. But if you're just two very different people and you're leading very different lives, it's sort of, it happens. And I also think the older you get, the less friends you do tend to have, which I prefer having a closer knit group of friends that I like fully trust. I think when you're younger and you've got loads of different friends, you don't really,
So
I
do
don't
you
know.
feel like now you have less friends than you did 5 years ago?
Yeah.
But
But I
like-
think it's a good thing.
But it's a good thing.
Yeah, because I think also you need to surround yourself with people who are like making you a better person. Like, I went through a phase of having my party friends or like different sort of, it was just like a mixed bag of people. And I
Yeah.
realized when I stopped partying, actually, there was a lot of people I stopped hanging out with and speaking
Yeah.
to. And I realized like they weren't necessarily actually my mates. They just wanted me there for a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's certainly true. I think I know loads of people who have like a lot of casual friends, but not that many good friends.
Yeah.
Just a lot of, they know like hundreds of people, but they don't have like anyone that they're really, really good friends
But
with.
I think that's like quite sad. Like, I have like a decent amount, and I have like probably 5 people I know. If something bad happened, I could ring any one of them and they would be there in a heartbeat.
That's very sweet of you to say that about me.
You
Am I in
are
that 5?
welcome. You can be.
I'm the 6th one.
You're the sixth. You'll be there from a distance.
So cuffing season, what's the advice to people listening about cuffing season? We like it or we don't like it?
I don't know.
Do you think it's a bad reason to get into a
yeah,
relationship?
I think it is a bad. Don't get into a relationship purely because the weather changes.
No. Okay.
Like, do you know?
I think that's good advice.
Also, think of the Christmas parties.
Christmas parties, if you're single, could be fun.
Pretty raucous.
Yeah, mistletoe.
Yeah. See, that's the fun side of it. Being single around Christmas, I think, is way better than single in summer.
Yeah, it's quite sort of rom-com energy.
Yeah,
being single
bit of
at
the
Christmas,
holiday.
being the only single one at the family Christmas party. It's quite sort of, quite fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Then go down to the local pub and get shit-faced. That's what I used to do. Anyway, get drunk with the farmers.
What is your local pub in
Oh.
the country? Can you say? Or
Yeah. It used to be one where my old house was, called the Stag and Huntsman, that I
Wow,
loved.
the Stag and Huntsman.
We were there so much. My mother used to ring it. There's no signal down in this village. Ring the woman who'd run it to get my brother to come back up to the house to finish his homework.
Really?
We'd be outside
To
drinking.
finish his homework?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is when he was
How
still
old
doing
is
his
he?
A levels. He was about 17.
Okay,
And she'd
great.
come outside. She goes, "Could Edward Bentley please go home?"
Amazing.
in the
Over
middle
the
of the
tannoy
afternoon.
around the pub. Okay, our stat of the week this week
Yeah.
revolves around ghosting, on the topic of ghosting.
Okay.
And I think you are going to like this. Can you guess how many adults today have experienced being ghosted by someone whilst dating? What percentage of adults in the UK have been ghosted?
70%.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
we meant to wait. Sorry, I completely forgot.
we're going to wait. We will find out in part 2. Don't go anywhere.
That reminds me of that meme of that guy got hit by the thing. Goes, "Don't go anywhere." He got hit by the bicycle. Welcome back to part 2 of Private Parts with me, Liv Bentley.
And me, Tom Lucy. Let's do the answer to the stat. What percentage of adults have been ghosted?
I would say 70%.
84% of millennial and Gen Z adults have been ghosted. Wow.
That's
And
actually
also,
high.
you know who else has been ghosted? Billie Eilish recently said she was ghosted last year and it was a horrific experience.
I mean, that's nuts to
A boy
ghost
ghosting Billie
Billie
Eilish,
Eilish.
is pretty
You
punchy,
have to be
isn't
a
it?
fucking idiot to have done that.
Pretty punchy.
But I genuinely think it's because of social media.
Okay, what do you
Well,
mean?
I just think because people, I don't remember dating being so ferocious as it is now.
Do you think it's ferocious?
It is. Every conversation you ever have with anyone is about dating. Like whenever you see anyone, the first thing they say is, are you dating at the moment? Like it's constantly about relationships, dating, like dating apps. It is.
I think it's fair to say that dating is like way more cutthroat now than it has ever
But
been.
also, what's the problem with being fucking single? Like,
No, there isn't. There is a bit of a stigma to being single,
there is,
isn't there?
especially when you're 30, by the way. Like,
It's like if you're single, everyone's asking you like, "Oh, who are you dating?
Yeah.
What do you tell me what's going
But
on?"
before I met Rory, honestly, the amount of people, and if I said I was single, they would say things like, "Oh, do you not want to get married?" I'm like, "Sorry, I'm 30. Like, I'm not fucking, you know."
Everyone's like panicking around you.
Yeah. Have you frozen your eggs?
Yeah.
Sorry.
What do you mean you're single? Are you fucking crazy?
But it is weird. But no, I think it's because there's so much availability with things like social media, isn't there? Like you go on one date with one girl, then you see another hot girl in a bikini, so you're like, "Oh, I'll go on her date with her." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just so much. And dating apps, obviously.
Which apps were you on before?
The only dating app I did, well, I was never accepted onto Rare, as we've discussed
That's
previously.
wild, isn't it?
But I was on
Are you
Hinge.
still waiting for
I'm
that?
still waiting. Sorry, Rory. But I was on Hinge. I never actually, to be honest, I went on one date during lockdown.
What about
On it.
Field? What is
Listen,
Field?
Field
I
is,
sound like a dad when I say that. But
you
what-
know
what-
perfectly well what Field is.
No,
Don't
as far
you
as
dare.
as far as I'm aware, and I've genuinely never been on it, but as far as I'm aware, it's like a dating app, but for one night
niche.
stands.
No, I think it's for niches. It's sort of, people into...
Oh, like kinks, like
Yeah.
fetishes.
Yeah. We've spoken about weird fetishes before. That bloke who had the chickens in his boots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
of
let's not
course.
go down that road. Although Halloween's coming up.
What do you mean? You're going to dress as a chicken? A sexy chicken?
No, not this year.
So your sister's having a Halloween party, which
She is.
we're both going to go to.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be
It's
fun.
exciting.
All my siblings. There's an array of things. Hugh Edwards? No,
go-
I can't actually say that.
Hugh Edwards is a bit of a dilf. Can I say that? Not obviously now, but
soft.
pre-allegation, I think he was quite hot stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this later because I've got more stuff on dilfs. Okay, let's do a story from a listener. Is this
Right.
on the theme of ghosting?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Here we go.
So I met this guy at a party and we hit it off well. By the end of the evening, we were linking arms and already feeling like we knew each other really well. We got an Uber home together, and as he dropped me off, I gave him my number so we could chat on text. I've had some awful experiences with guys texting back, but to my surprise, I woke to a message from him saying, hey. I responded straight back with, hey, it was great meeting you last night, blah, blah, blah. 1 hour goes by, no reply, that's fine. 2 hours go by, also fine. Maybe he's busy. 2 days go by. Now it's taking the piss. I could feel myself getting more and more angry. I was so angry, I sent him a text back, am I not good enough for you? Slightly psychotic, but I was pissed. An hour goes by and he responds with just a question mark, to which I replied with, why are you ignoring me? He sent a screenshot back of our conversation. I was horrid to find my first hey response was never sent and just straight to, why are you ignoring me? I look fucking psychotic and I really like the guy. Do I just move on or is this salvageable?
That's great.
You got to move on. That's
You
too much.
gotta move
Too
on.
much. Psycho came in pretty sharp on that puppy.
I love the idea of going straight from
Hey.
meeting to why are you ignoring me? That's great.
I don't think you can't come back from that, actually.
That's really great.
No, that's too funny. I'm trying to think, have I ever sent any
Trying to play it cool and going straight to that.
I'm a psycho? I get it, though, but... Oh, no, I don't get it. I have an issue of ignoring people, and I don't mean to do it.
Do you ignore people?
But my problem is, and now you know on WhatsApp you can have this section of unread messages.
Mm.
My thing is, if I'm doing something or like cunt, oh God, sorry. If I
Sorry, that's Liv's Tourette's playing up
sorry,
there.
if I'm doing something and say someone suddenly rings me, I get distracted, then I'll forget about the message I was sending. So I just
Okay,
ignore it.
can I give you a bit of advice? Because I used to be quite bad at. I would get a message from someone, read it in my head, and then think, oh, I'll reply to that later, and then
never do
forget.
it, and then it's 2 days later, and then
And it's
suddenly-
almost like you reply in your head and you don't actually reply.
But how do I stop that?
But
doing
what I've
that?
started doing is if I haven't replied, I just leave it as unread. You know, you can change it back to unread.
Yeah,
And then that reminds you that you haven't replied to it yet.
I do. I've got 207 of those.
Okay, fine. Well, that's too much.
It is a lot, isn't it?
You need to sit down for about 4 hours and reply to all of those
I
messages.
can't honestly, but like I don't know what it is. And
We'll do it together.
Okay.
We'll go through them one by one and we'll craft a reply to all of them.
Funnily enough, it was Martin Bagman who just sent one through.
Martin
Fake
Bagman.
handbags.
Oh, not the other kind of bag. Right, okay. Why don't you just get like a generic reply and send it to all 207 people?
I'll call you in 10.
Say, hi, sorry I missed this. I'll call soon. And that's generic enough. You've replied.
Sure. Keep it open.
Yeah. So the advice to this lady is move on.
I think it's because also, by the way, she did write, why are you ignoring me in capital letters, which is like the aggression levels slightly up there.
How quickly into a relationship do you think you... Because obviously at the beginning of a new relationship, you're
You
both...
play it cool a
You're both
bit.
like masking how you actually are a bit, right? And then you get to a point where you're like, now your sort of insecurities and your psychotic behaviour is starting to come out a little bit. How quickly in... Have you and Rory got to that stage yet?
No,
or not?
no.
You will at some point, though.
But so normally, you know, when you first start dating someone, you sort of like give it a couple of hours before you reply. He's not like that. And in the beginning, when I first met him, then when I met him on this night, he gave me his number. And he said to me after we'd actually finally got together, he was like, I sacked you off because you were so shit at replying. I was like, oh, all right.
Really?
Then. Yeah.
You were so shit
he
at
was like,
replying?
I was getting nothing from you. And I was like, to be totally honest, I thought you wanted to try and just shag me. So I was like, I'll ignore you.
So is he a
basically.
really fast replier?
No, but he's not really on, he's only on his phone if he's actually texting someone. Like he doesn't sit on his phone.
No.
Like ever. So
But he's still a quick replier?
yeah,
Or not?
yeah. But his phone
That's
is.
good, though.
He's the first person I met. He probably uses his phone for what
For what phones are
for
used
what
for?
actual phones are used for, not sitting scrolling, looking at shit like
He
me
just has
watching.
a landline.
Oh, the landline.
God,
I
I
heard one
miss
the other day.
landlines.
Yeah, I missed the landline, and I heard a proper landline phone going, and I just didn't even know.
I'd like one of those phones that's on a cord in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Like an old-fashioned one that you walk around the house with the cord.
God, my parents used to have one of those ones that you spin the thing.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Really old. I can't remember what we were talking
But
about.
Rory's no social media, right? That's why he's not on his phone.
Yeah, yeah.
You know when people say they don't have social media, but they actually have like a weird fake
account.
and they are on it, but they say they're not
Are
on it.
you
Is
trying
he
to
one
say
of those?
something? I hope not.
No, but that scare you if he was.
What if he was lying about it? He's actually TikTok famous.
Yeah, yeah, he's massive on TikTok.
Yes, I would find that rather unnerving, and then I would become a psycho.
I have some things I want to talk to you about because this week I went to 2 events. On Monday, I went to the launch of Louis Theroux's new podcast,
Got you?
right? And I was quite surprised. Not surprised, but I wanted to get your take on this because I've never seen Louis Theroux as like a sort of pin-up sex icon.
Wait. I just have to remind myself of
What he looks
exactly what
like.
he looks like.
But at this event on Monday, there was quite a lot of girls
Oh.
who were like fans of him, who had like won the tickets to go as a sort of competition thing. And when he came out on stage, there was an energy in the room of
People
like
throwing their bras at him.
like this guy's like this is quite a sexy guy. But I'd never thought of Louis Theroux as that sort of person.
I mean, I
but,
can't say I have either, but
is there obviously is something about him. And then I thought I'm going to talk to Liv about this because
DILFs.
well, I don't know if it's a DILF thing, but there's like there are certain men who are like people have like a weird, you know, crush. Like Jeremy Clarkson, we've talked
Well,
about
yeah,
him
we did speak
before.
about that.
But women love Jeremy Clarkson. Boris Johnson, for some reason, is like people find him sexy. I don't know what it is.
I don't know if the word sexy
I thought
comes
you could try
to
and explain
mind.
what it is.
But then it's a bit like, you know, what's that guy in Saltburn, Barry?
Keoghan.
Loads of people suddenly found him really attractive. And if you think the character he plays was some raving fucking lunatic, like drinking bathwater and shit. But I don't know what it is. Maybe women have a weird... I wouldn't say Louis Theroux is like a psychopath, but
No.
but maybe I don't know what that is. To be honest, I get the older guy attractive thing, but maybe I don't know if they've got like a niche or something that.
Yeah. Because then the other thing I went to last night was the premiere of Wolves, the movie with
Brad
Pitt
Pitt.
and George Clooney. And those guys are fucking...
They have aged well,
They are killing it, right?
like a fine wine.
Can you try and explain to us what you think they might have done to look that good?
Oh, salmon jizz. I do think it's
I feel like you're on commission for this salmon sperm
no, I'd
thing.
like to give a shout out to Wasim and the Taktuk Clinic who did my salmon sperm. But I actually do think that's what a lot of people are having done.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not obvious. If men have Botox, when anyone has Botox, it's pretty obvious. Look
Do
at
they?
this old frozen face. But when the salmon sperm, it's just like rejuvenating.
Maybe I'll try it.
Gives you that younger... We could do it in here.
What do you mean we could do it in here?
Or we could get someone round with a needle.
Do you they inject it?
Yeah. No, they don't just get the salmon and...
They just throw it over your face.
That's called something else, isn't it? A pearl necklace. Anyway. Oh, and that was shocking one year. My dad gave me and all my sisters pearl necklaces. Trying to tell people that didn't go down well, did it? Anyway, that's irrelevant.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Also, I suppose, well, we were talking about this earlier. If you've got money does make everything easier, doesn't it? You
yeah,
could like...
I kind of feel like the one theme that goes through all of these kind of men who like get better looking as they get older is they're all like minted, right? Money is kind of the key to it, really.
Yeah. Actually, I had a phone call the other day. And I'm being deadly serious. I could talk about it now. I'm going to shame him. He's called... If anyone would like to know. He's
Whoa,
up from
hang on.
Manchester.
What are we doing now? We
can
this
talk
turned
about
into
this.
some sort of watchdog.
I'm not joking.
Sorry, how have you not mentioned? We're 45
sorry.
minutes into this. How have
Sorry.
you not thought to bring this up?
I just thought I'd keep... Well, you said lighten the mood. And that
No, but
felt,
this is great.
felt morbid.
So what's happened?
So basically, okay, if anyone's ever heard of a company called it's all a load of shit. He's also opened 2 other companies. I'll put those in the comments. Basically, we used to have a manufacturer that was good for a while. We don't need anymore and haven't done for a while. Who basically was a con artist. And he was stealing people's money. He owes us about 20 grand. Some people have gone completely bankrupt because he's fucked their companies.
God.
I'm not joking. This is so bad. He's been taken to court on 17 different counts. And no one now can get hold of him.
So he runs a factory.
Yeah.
And what happens? You give him money and then he doesn't give you product.
Yeah, basically. He did in the beginning, and then it started getting weird, and he wasn't replying to
So
messages.
have you given him a load of money and he hasn't sent you how much?
20 grand. Wow. Yeah, it was savage.
And you still haven't heard from him?
No, nothing. He owes us that money. But he's done. I then started getting loads of DMs from people saying, "Are you still using this company? I can't get hold of him. He's taken all my money." So what he was doing was going to people saying, "I made Liv Bentley's company or her products to get people invested in it." And obviously, he was using my name even after we stopped using him. It's really bad. And I've had
Wow.
all these messages from people saying, "Oh, he's taken this money." How awful is that?
So
what's wrong with people?
Okay, well let's talk more generally about have you been conned before?
No, I haven't. And although actually this is a weird one, and I actually felt at the time I was like, this isn't right. But I did a deal once with a company that was essentially unbreakable tights. You know, like tights that girls wear.
Right.
Anyway, they
Unbreakable
unbreakable.
tights.
So tights get ladders in quite easily if you put your
Yeah.
finger. Never want to put your finger. It doesn't matter.
Right. Okay,
If you're
fine.
getting fingered, they'll rip. No, they basically rip because girls' nails.
So these were made of what, like cement?
Yeah, they're basically latex. And
For women with chastity belts.
anyway, they were unbreakable tights, and I promoted them. Did a few posts for them. Anyway, I got paid for the job, and then I got a few messages from different people weeks later, basically saying I'd ordered these tights. Nothing ever came, and I messaged my agent and I said, listen, Pete, I'm getting a lot of messages. Turns out the whole company was a complete fucking scam. Some company in France, and they just that's what happened.
So you were promoting the tights?
So
and you
promotion
got-
tights, but it was all, and my agent, this is my old agent, was like, I called, like there's now no recollection of their business whatsoever. So then
Wow.
I was getting messages from these poor people who'd spent money on them, and I was like, we have to pay them then, because essentially it's false advertisement.
Yeah.
But it's fucking bad.
Yeah.
Like then I feel responsible, but even though at the time it all was very legit, like there was a contract, there was everything, I did get paid. Anyway, it was stuff like stuff like that really upsets me. I don't like all that. I
If
also
you-
just hope people get fucking bad karma.
Yeah. If you get if you get offered like, will you promote this product on Instagram? How much back checking is there into what the brand is?
I think now
'Cause
there's
you've got to
quite
be
a lot.
careful because you're like associating your name with it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I think because it's now October, I think
Yeah.
we should try and go to Winter Wonderland. The opening thing.
Yeah.
I won't perform there, obviously, mainly because they won't
we
ask
could
me.
perform together.
Well, yeah, we could do something. Yeah, we could host the opening together. Fright Night. Have you been to Fright Night before?
I've just realised we're probably not the audience wouldn't be right for us, would it?
what?
A couple of young children. Me talking about lube and
No, it's probably not the. I
and
wouldn't.
the way I use the word cunt so freely. I don't think the parents would appreciate
No,
that.
you'd have to rein that in a bit, but you could think of a more Christmassy word to use.
Crumbs.
Yeah, crumbs is better. Yeah.
Okay.
Fright Night we could go to.
Fright
at Thorpe
Night.
Park. Have you
Yeah.
been to that before?
I have once. Scared the living shit out of me.
Somebody I know went to Fright Night once, and it's like loads of actors, like out of work actors, are employed to dress up and be like spooky people walking
Yeah, because they
around.
touch you.
One of my friends went and came around a corner, and one of these actors jumped out at him, and he, without thinking about it, just punched him square in the face. Just like a complete,
I probably would do the same.
Like a reflex, just punched him in the face. This poor, like, 21-year-old, just out of drama school actor, just got punched
Beaten
square
up.
in the face. And they probably have to sign something when they do that if they get hurt, it's not Thorpe
Yeah.
Park's fault. Because if someone jumps out and scares you and you get punched,
What would
I mean,
your-
it's kind of like, it's kind of what you expect to happen, isn't it?
What would yours would probably be? "Oh, run away. You'd run, wouldn't you?
No, I normally carry some sort of weapon, so I'd probably get that out.
Mine would be lighting a fag straight away.
Oh yeah, you'd have a fag straight
Yeah,
away.
straight away.
You'd be smoking while you're walking around the scary maze. We could try and go to that. That would
Yeah.
be fun. There's so much to do. Have you got any exciting things happening next week?
I'm going
You're
away.
going on holiday?
I'm going on holiday.
Where are you going?
Going to Greece. Wow. Yeah.
Wow,
Which I'm very
With Rory?
excited about with Rory. Yeah.
that's exciting. Where in
It
Greece are you
is
going?
Kefalonia.
Wow.
So I'm hoping the weather's still nice and warm. But it's going to be like a little health retreat.
Is it?
Think.
You're gonna just go no booze?
No booze.
Really?
Lots of exercise. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
Yeah. What have you got coming up? Any more nice gigs?
I've
I
got-
think that's how we should come to a gig. I said every week I reference coming to one of your gigs and we never get the invite.
because I'm not really doing a lot at the moment, but I could do one so that
Just
you,
for me and
so
Rory.
That I could do one in your house for you and Rory, like a private event. If you have any issues or questions or stories you want to tell us, contact at privatepartspodcast.com, at privatepodcast on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of that stuff. You can also watch the full episodes every Monday on YouTube if you want to see. Well, if you're out there and you enjoy people wearing no shoes, you might enjoy this week's episode. And Liv's dressed like she's doing some sort of GCSE drama exam. Sorry? All in black. Yeah. Halloween. Oh, it's Halloween, of course. Sorry.
Of course.
Liv's morning in Halloween. So you can watch the full episodes on YouTube, youtube.com/privateparts. Liv,
Happy cuffing.
happy cuffing.
Let's get cuffed up. Doesn't that-
let's get cuffed.
Let's get cuffed.
See you next week.